When you repeat certain things, they tend to become your habits.
We learn about life through questions.
How do we tame this mind?
Is that person more equipped?
How does one know that now this is going beyond my control?
How much of a role does education play?
What causes this lack of concentration?
To answer some of these, Mr. Praveen Mankar, founder of Pratibimb Charitable Trust, brings to you Face to Face. This week we are talking about habits.
Motivation is what gets us started, but it's habits which keeps us going. How do you define habits and how do they form?
Habit is a subject of the subconscious mind. Whatever you cultivate and gets entrenched in your subconscious mind manifests in the form of habit.
Okay.
For example, if you are writing with your right hand, so your right hand has cultivated the habit of writing. Your left hand does not have the capability of writing because it has never cultivated the habit of writing. But if you make a conscious effort, you will be able to train your left hand also to write. So, habits are formed out of repetition. When you repeat certain things, they tend to become your habits. You formed the habit of brushing your teeth. Your parents forced you to brush your teeth when you woke up in the morning and before you went to bed at night. So, you have now cultivated the habit of brushing your teeth twice a day. So, habits are a matter of cultivation and a matter of repetition.
Okay. So you mentioned that it's a part where the subconscious mind is involved, but during the part of where you're building habits, isn't the conscious mind involved more?
Yes, all subjects related to the subconscious mind have an entry point through the conscious mind. Unless the conscious mind participates in permitting certain things to be accepted, nothing enters your subconscious mind. Take the simple example of learning to drive a car. When you first sat behind the steering wheel, you had no concept of accelerator, brake and clutch, the ABC of car driving. You were aware that your left foot is on the clutch, the right foot is on the accelerator and the brake. You shift your right foot from the accelerator to the brake. So, your right foot was trained to switch from the accelerator to the brake. Your left foot remained steady on the clutch. You were consciously trained, your conscious mind was aware of what your left foot should do and what your right foot should do, while your hands were focusing on keeping the car in a straight line steady and changing the gears. After a period of time, you drive a car, you are not even aware where your left foot is and where your right foot is. You are busy talking to your neighbor or you are listening to a song, you are fully focused on the song that you are listening to, but you are driving the car very efficiently. What is the transformation? The transformation is from an untrained subconscious mind to a trained subconscious mind, trained by the conscious mind. You consciously trained your left foot and the right foot to press the appropriate pedals. You trained your left hand to shift the gears in the appropriate gear. You trained your hands to keep the car steady. Now, your conscious mind is not participating in driving the car. You are doing it subconsciously. You have cultivated the habit of driving the car. So, habit is necessarily a subject of the subconscious mind.
Okay. So the subconscious mind actually can control your body also to that extent?
Subconscious mind has the entire control because after the subconscious mind comes the expression. When you say control my body, you are controlling your expressions. Somebody said something to me, I got annoyed. It is up to me whether I should express my annoyance or keep it to myself. That choice is always with me. I am annoyed from inside, but outwardly I am smiling. What have I done? I have controlled my expression. Does it mean I am not annoyed? No, it does not mean that. I am annoyed, but I am still smiling. So, the expression is the part which comes after whatever happens in your subconscious mind. Now, some people after they get annoyed, they cannot stop expressing. which means that the entire expression is triggered by the subconscious mind. I am annoyed, but I am not expressing. So, my annoyance became an awareness in my conscious mind. My conscious mind directed my subconscious mind, don't express, and my subconscious mind directed my organs of expression, my facial expressions, my arms, don't express. So, I am sitting apparently peaceful to the outside public, inside I am angry, directed by my conscious mind not to express. So, there is a contradiction. My conscious mind is saying don't express, my subconscious mind is saying express anger because I am angry and I am actually not expressing. So, there is an internal battle raging within me, the battle between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. But it is always the conscious mind that overrides the subconscious mind.
Okay.
When the conscious mind is not participating, then the habits kick in.
Right. Okay. So, good and bad are relative terms. It depends from person to person. So, does this same logic apply to habits also? So, what is a good habit for one may not be a good habit for another, or is it not applicable for it?
You rightly said that good and bad are relative terms. So, what is good for one may not be good for another. The subject is about habits, and habits are a matter of cultivation. Some people are erratic in their habit of waking up. On a particular day, they might wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, on another day, they sleep till 10 o'clock. Another person is habitually waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, plus minus 5 minutes here and there. So, he has trained his body, biological clock, to wake him up at 7 o'clock. The guy who is not waking up at 7 o'clock is not that he is not waking up at 7 o'clock, he has trained himself to wake up at 7 o'clock, but he has also trained himself to shut the alarm and go back to sleep and wake up whenever he is fully rested or he is feeling like getting up. He is erratic in his habit of waking up. I am just taking one example of now what is good and what is bad. So, the guy who is waking up at any time will say, last night I came at 4 o'clock, I slept at 4 a.m. So, I slept till 11. So, I got 4 to 11, whatever 7 hours of sleep that I should get. So, 7 hours is good sleep. So, it is a good habit that I slept for 7 hours.
Right.
For him, erratic times is not bad because that is how his work is. The guy who is waking up at 7 o'clock, he says I have to report for work at 9 o'clock. So, I must leave my house at 8 o'clock, therefore, I must wake at 7 o'clock. So, he is very regular at waking up at 7 o'clock. So, for him, I am not indisciplined like this guy who wakes up anytime, sleeps at any time. I am a very disciplined individual. Your nature of work demands that you reach the place of work at a particular time. His nature of work demands that he works for extended hours.
Right.
So, good and bad are not the subject. It is the matter of cultivating a habit.
Right.
Like you see these two boxes here. Here is a box which seems to be neatly arranged and here is a scattered box with haphazard arrangement. So, you might say this is bad arrangement and this is good arrangement. You ask any artist and especially modern art, you know, any line scribbled here and there and it sells in crores. Yeah. So, this is modern art, that might be conventional typical art.
Right.
Again, good and bad are relative, depends on who looks at what.
Yeah. So, but there are usually some habits which are like usually accepted as good habits. So, it could be like healthy eating, exercising regularly. So, these are like no one disputes them. No one will say that eating healthy is a bad habit. So, why? I mean, there are certain bad habits in the society, like say alcohol, drinking alcohol or smoking is considered as a bad habit, though it's a lot of people still do it. So, my question is that why is it that this segregation is there if there shouldn't be any segregation?
All this is based on beliefs. Now, you said that some people consider drinking alcohol a bad habit, but there are societies which believe that drinking in moderation is a healthy habit. For example, if you go to certain countries in Europe, they will say drinking half a glass of wine every night is good for the heart, and they will back it up with data about the longevity in that country with less incidence of cardiac disease. Anything that you do in excess can turn out to be harmful. I mean, you eat too many sweets, you will say sweets are good. Another society will say sweets is sugar, sugar is not good. So, anything that you do in excess will eventually hurt you, harm you, will come back to you. Habits lead to addiction. I started smoking a cigarette. As long as I was smoking 1 cigarette a day, it seemed to be okay. Then it became 1 packet a day, 20 cigarettes a day. Then it became 2 packets a day, 40 cigarettes a day. Now I am getting addicted to cigarettes. I am smoking in excess. Now I know what your next question will be. Smoking 1 cigarette, is it good? Anything that you do unnaturally is not good. Period. So a habit that leads into addiction takes you to a downfall. A habit in moderation may still not be as harmful.
Right. So, related to that, why is it that these habits which lead to addiction, or let's call them bad habits for now, why is it that it's easier for people to adopt to bad habits compared to something which is healthier and good for you?
Anything that doesn't require effort is easy. Getting into bad habit, bad in inverted commas, getting into bad habits is easy because it doesn't require any effort. Getting tempted, getting addicted, I just have to let go. Not getting tempted, not getting addicted is an effort. Effort is never easy.
Right, true. But is there any way that you can cultivate good habits, or again?
Yes. Now that's a very good point, because there is something called cellular memory.
Okay.
Like my right hand has the cellular memory of writing ABCD. So I have cultivated this habit in my right hand. My left hand doesn't have that ability. I have not cultivated that memory in my left hand muscles.
Right.
The cellular memory is missing. I am a factory worker and I am accustomed to operating a particular machine. I operate that machine efficiently. Just like I drive a car efficiently without thinking about it, I operate the machine in the factory efficiently. You put another worker on the same machine and he will not produce the quality output which I produce, because I am habituated to that machine and its operations. So habits can be directed towards beneficial activities also.
So in the same way, once suppose some habit is cultivated now, let's say it's a bad habit and it's easy, you got addicted to something. Is there any way that you can break that habit? How do you break these habits?
Sure, the first important ingredient is willpower.
Okay.
You got habituated to smoking. You have read many advertisements, you have read articles, you have been told by people, counseled by seniors, smoking is injurious to health, you have been shown the ill effects of smoking. You understand, you are aware that smoking is bad. You also want to get rid of your addiction of smoking, but somehow your willpower fails. There is a 2-hour gap, you feel like smoking, or you have had lunch, you feel like smoking, or you wake up in the morning before going for your ablutions, you feel like smoking. You have cultivated these habits. Now the habits are dictating your actions. Again, remember, habits are part of your subconscious mind is part of your expression. You are expressing yourself by smoking through the trigger of your subconscious mind, which was cultivated initially by the conscious mind, because you got attracted to smoking. How do I give up smoking? So first ingredient is willpower. If I don't have willpower, I will invariably fail. Second ingredient is to do exactly the opposite. Now I feel like smoking, I will not smoke. I got the urge, my subconscious is triggering me, pick up a cigarette, light it and smoke. I will not smoke. So do exactly the opposite, I will not smoke. Now when you say I will not smoke, it is your conscious mind telling your body, don't pick up the cigarette.
Right.
So now you have resisted the first temptation to pick up the cigarette and smoke. When you do this repeatedly, your conscious mind is repeatedly telling your subconscious mind, don't smoke.
Right.
Over a period of time, the subconscious mind now cultivates a habit of not smoking. So the trigger will start getting dismantled. Breaking a habit is dismantling the internal trigger, which was initially cultivated by you,
Right.
through your conscious effort. So it is in your hands to dismantle the trigger.
Habits, whether they are good or bad, are something that is cultivated out of repetition. And this repetition is initiated by a conscious mind, and this is something that you can change. Either it's building good habits or breaking bad ones just by sheer willpower.
If you have some questions about life, please connect with us. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the bell icon for weekly updates.